Okay, today I know we're talking about spending this week, but we've been telling you to cut back, save, don't spend, pick up every penny, work, do your own work, and I think that might be a little depressing this week if you're just being told to save, save, save. I want you to dream with me for a minute. Now, this idea might not be for everyone, but I want to give it to you anyway. uh, Something that's called house hacking that is a great idea for first time homeowners. Once you've saved a little bit, imagine what if the first home you own, now this isn't for everybody, but what if the first home you owned was actually a simple duplex where you buy the home. Now you can do this with 3.5% down. So if you find a simple duplex that's, let's say you find one for 300,000, 3.5% down would just be 3,500 times three, right? What would that be? $10,500 as down payment. So if you can save $10,000, $10,500 to go down on now maybe you can't find a $300,000 duplex in your neighborhood, but or in your area. But if you could, just imagine some neighborhoods, some areas you can find one for 150, 200,000, and some areas they're going to be more expensive. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to imagine buying that, living in one side, renting the other side, letting the rent pay most or a good portion of your mortgage, and you live in that for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and then you've saved up for another home, and you buy a second home, and you turn your duplex into two rental doors. You say, Josh, I don't know about that. Is that a good idea? Yeah, I think it is. That's an option for you. Um, it's not for everybody, but I want you to dream with me. So, as you're putting off these luxury items, you're not buying the fancy car, you're not buying the Gucci and the Louis Vuitton today because you're remembering that you're working towards something. Maybe you're going to be a homeowner. Another idea, there's a lot of places that allow auxiliary dwelling units, like a single wide home on the property, on the same property where you buy a single family residence. You can add that like a mother-in-law suite. You can add it like an Airbnb, and that's an option. I actually own something very similar to this image, where it's a house, and in the backyard there's a single wide, and it's a very great cash flowing property. The rent in the single wide actually pays for the whole property, and the rent from the single family residence is just all profit. So these are things that you're going to be able to consider after you become a homeowner. So just stick with me. Cut back on your saving. I mean, cut back on your spending. Spend less, spend less, spend less right now because you're dreaming about someday in the future where, you know what? You might own a property that the rent, the excess rent would pay the mortgage. I mean, pay the monthly payment on a luxury vehicle. You say, really? Is that possible? Yeah, it's possible. Every single month, you could say, "Oh, I've got this rental property over here that's paying for my car." I've seen people with their cars and their license plate. They've got a custom license plate that says, something pays for this or something else pays for this. It's a pretty cool idea. Now, some people they don't spend it on luxury because they're still grinding. They're wanting more doors. They're wanting more doors. So I want you to dream with me. Now listen, you say, Josh, I don't ever want to be that investor guy. I just want to own a home. You dream about something else, but I want you to dream a little bit today because as you're saving, as you're cutting back that spending, you're gonna get there. Stick with me. Keep doing it. You're gonna get